By the way, Emefiele came to my house.
The former CBN governor?
Yes. I said, how did you know my house? He said it was sent to me by Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I said, you are lying. He was shaking like jellyfish. I said, what's wrong? He said, Egbon, they are after me. Ah, who are after you? He mentioned them. And he mentioned how much he had given these people who were after him. So I said, so why are you telling me? Go and tell the police. He said, I cannot tell the police. I said, if you cannot tell the police, it means you have done something wrong.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Plan B TV News. See, I'm going to beg every one of you, no matter who you are, where you are, and the amount of data or low data that you have, please find a time to watch this particular video from beginning to the end. There are a lot of things that were said in this video that you, as a Nigerian, should show concern. This man, I don't know why he is saying none of this right now, but I beg you as a Nigerian, I will not say one or two things, I will not explain. I just want us to watch this video from beginning to the ending, and I will be right back to do some messages into it.
Of Oyetola than I ever spent on myself.
But Prof, things are not working between Ralph Aregbesola and President Bola Tinubu.
It makes me sad. It makes me sad. Again, on another program, I think it was Obilo, the guy in Ibadan, Edmond.
Yeah.
I told him, if you want to get between Aregbesola and Tinubu, you will fail. They were so close. I was at a meeting in which Tinubu said that if you see him sleeping and you see Rauf coming with a dagger or a knife, don't wake him up. Rauf will never injure me. For Rauf, the only entity in the universe that is greater than Bola Tinubu was God. So I never know what happened between them. I have a feeling that it has to do with Rauf thinking that Bola Tinubu sided with his own brother against him. Honestly, I leave the two of them to settle that.
Can you help them settle the matter?
I tried my best. I tried my very, very best.
Can you try again? Is it possible?
Let me tell you, power is a terrible thing. The Game of Thrones is treacherous in Nigeria. I seek nothing. Those who know me know that by the grace of God, I carried my first placard in 1964. That's how I met Bola Ige. It was in the Danny Ajiboye and I were coming from carrying placard to the street of Ilesha. That's how I met Bola Ige. Nobody introduced me to Bola Ige. Nobody introduced me to Awolowo. I went to Awolowo's house. I told him, he's my hero. I want to meet you. I want to have a relationship with you. The point is this. I've been long in politics before Tinubu and before Aregbesola.
They are seniors politically.
Oh, yes. I mean, when we were running action UPN, where were they? But the point is, that doesn't matter. Only God elevates. The race is rarely for the strong, for the swift. The promotion comes only from God. And if Aregbesola comes here now, I will stand up for him. He's my leader. When I was the House of Rep, Bewaji was my leader. I was already a graduate before Bewaji entered the same secondary school that I went to. But Bewaji, if he calls me today, I will say, yes, sir. He's my leader. That's how we were trained in the old school. The point is, they are my leaders. And I give them all their dues that you must give leadership. I once witnessed Awolowo giving due respect to Governor Onabanjo when Awolowo was visiting Ogun. And Baba Onabanjo walked in. And Awolowo stood up. And Banjo protested. Onabanjo protested. And I always said, if I cannot respect the governor of my state, I'm setting a bad example for others. So I've learned, even though I'm older than Rauf, if Tinubu was born in 1952 and older than he is. We were together in exile together when I was the secretary of both UDFN and JACOM. And by JACOM, I'm talking of the coalition of NADECO and UDFN. Enaru and Shoyinka were our joint chairman. I was the general secretary. And they all respected me. But we got to Nigeria. God elevates according to his own choice.
So it's almost impossible for you to help settle the rancor between President Bola Tinubu.
If the two of them want to settle, it's not impossible. But I attempted in the past, not once, not twice, several times.
What about Baba Konde?
It's not just that they launched the book, but it became a means of paying criminality, big dividends in public space. And those who were there, as far as I'm concerned, was a parade of the same leaders whose acts of commission and omission got Nigeria to the mess in which it is now. Ask yourself, look at the biggest donors. Danjuma, not Theophilus Danjuma, I'm talking of Aliko Dangote. You know his name is Danjuma, okay? Danjuma gave 8 billion. We are going to pay for it. When he starts selling this product to the public, all he has to do is add 4 naira, 5 naira. In the end, we are going to pay for it. No money is free. Who's the next one? The Boer person, right? From a wealthy family, from the Dantata family, by the way. And then, I don't want to mention any more names. Oh, I must mention.
These are private sector people who own their own money.
Oh, yeah, they own their own money in a rentier economy.
But if you were invited, wouldn't you have attended too? For example, like your very good friend, Professor Oshibajo, who was asked to review the book. If you were asked to review the book, or you have some affinity with former head of state, wouldn't you have attended?
I don't blame Oshibajo for attending. I don't blame him for reviewing the book. I would not have attended. I would not have reviewed the book.
Why?
Okay, let me give you an example. My good friend, he was principal private secretary to General Yakub Gowon when Gowon was head of state. Moses Ihonde used to be the consul general in Atlanta. Wrote a book, First Call, and invited me to be the reviewer. He was there. General Gowon was there. Adesina Ajida was there. General Adeyinka Adebayo was there. So were many other people. I'm not sure if they were happy with me, but I gave a review that history would judge that I knew what I was saying and that I did not care whose ox was God. So relationships are built. If tomorrow Bolaji Aluko asked me to review a book that he has written, of course. If Fayemi asked me to review a book, of course. But it doesn't mean I will, brush the issues they have raised. For me, you mentioned that these are from private sector. Oh, yes. The ruination of Nigeria principally emanates from the unscrupulous behavior of private sector in interfering with public policy. When I was on Edmond Obilo program, I mentioned one name as one of those I call the establishment in Abuja, Eze. And Eze was there. He donated 500 million. Eze not only donated 500 million, Eze told the whole country that everything I made courtesy of Babangida. You know that was payback time. How did General Theophilus Danjuma get his oil block, rentier economy? How did Dangote get all his money? Brilliant man. I love him. Hardworking. Great man from great family. Nevertheless, he has received privileges. Privileges that had allowed him to corner sectors. You buy sugar from Dangote. You buy cement from Dangote. Now you buy petrol from Dangote. And guess what? Guess what? every ruling party in this country, every ruling party in this country gets money from these profiteers from the rental economy when it comes to election. How do they get it? I will expose it. In the name of their company, they get foreign exchange. They go back to Sabo or to Sheraton Hotel to sell those foreign exchange to merchants of foreign bureau, and they pile back the profit, not to themselves, but to the ruling party. PDP knows it happens to them. APC will not deny that it happens to them.
So your party to play that role.
My friend, you listen to me. You just want me to incriminate myself. I'm a member of the APC. I'm still a member of the APC. I'm not one to run away because there's crisis. But the truth is, if we are going to redeem this country, we must say the truth. And the truth is, businessmen in the private sector are often used to recycle money. And part of the recycling is from the central bank. By the way, Emefiele came to my house.
The former CBN governor.
Yes. I said, how did you know my house? He said it was sent to me by Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I said, you are lying. Because the last time Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu visited me, I was in Akko Legislative Quarters. He has not been to this place. How will he send you to me that you will know this place? And he said, well, if I want to get you, all I need to get is get Rauf. I said, okay, hold on. So I called Rauf. I said, look, this man is here. Rauf said, yes, please attend to him. Give him everything he wants. I was instrumental to the confirmation of Emefiele as the chairman, as the governor of Central Bank. And guess what? Because at that time, there were enough votes to kill his nomination. If I tell you the who is who of the Nigerian Senate who are opposed to Emefiele, you'll be shocked. But we got him confirmed. It wasn't easy. We got him confirmed. When Buhari now became president, we were quartered in Hilton Hotel. Again, I don't know how he knew my room. Even when he came to my room, he was shaking like jellyfish. I said, what's wrong? He said, Egbon, they're after me. Ah, who are after you? He mentioned them. And he mentioned how much he had given these people who were after him. So I said, so why are you telling me? Go and tell the police. He said, I cannot tell the police. I said, if you cannot tell the police, it means you have done something wrong. If they're after you, as governor of Central Bank, the Nigerian police owes you a duty to protect you. If they are after you, what will I do to protect you? He said, I just want you to know in case anything happens to me. I said, you're a fool. You mustn't let anything happen to you. You must tell. And I will tell. He said, don't tell. That evening, I went to Rauf. And I told Rauf. Rauf said, this is not what I can handle. You must go to Asiwaju. I said, no. I don't want to go to Asiwaju. If Asiwaju gets angry and calls a press conference, the whole thing will blow. He said, no. I said, look, I don't want to get into it. If anything happens, Asiwaju has resources to protect himself. I'm an orphan. I don't have a father. I don't have a mother. I don't want anything to happen to me. Anyway, Asiwaju said, in that case, let's go and tell Baba Kande. So we went to Baba Kande. I went to Baba Kande. Baba Kande said, this is too much. We must tell Asiwaju. So I said, okay. Before we tell Asiwaju, Let's get him not to be angry. Oh. This thing doesn't require gra-gra. Otherwise, they might kill Emefiele.
Who are those after him?
I cannot.
Are they politicians?
3 of them are politicians, yes.
They were after him. Were they in government at the time?
My friend, they were politicians and they were extorting him. You've not heard of the story. So we decided to go and tell Buhari. It was the very weekend that Buhari was sworn into office. So Chief Akande and I went to Buhari. We got there, we met the governor of Niger State. His first day in office, he hadn't moved to the villa at that time. He was still in that holding place. I was the first person that spoke to Buhari when he resumed duty as president. And I told him the story. He said, how many people had we told? We didn't tell him that we had told Asiwaju and that we had told Rauf. I said, look, this is the only man I've told.
This was in 2015?
Yes. I said 2 days after I became president. We saw him 2 days previously at the Eagle Square. 2 days was this. You know, the following day were all kind of parties and reception and all
that. It was May 31.
Yes. So we went to him. So he said, okay, I'm asking you one favor. Don't tell anybody. And we promise we won't tell anybody. We left him to go out. And they allowed Chief Akande to pass. And they said, I cannot go. I said, why couldn't I go? He said, the president wants to see me again. Hey. I said, I don't enter trouble. I went back to the president. What have I done that you allowed Chief Akande to go and you didn't allow me to go? And he said, you came and told me this story. I said, yes. He then said, what did I tell you? I said, you told me and Chief Akande not to tell anybody. He said, good, you remember, you can go. I said, no, I'm not going. What you are saying by implication is that if this story broke out, you will hold me responsible. Abba, that's not fair. And he said, let me tell you why. I believe the story would not leak from Chief Akande. That's what he told me. He said, because Chief Akande has been governor. He has been deputy governor. He has been secretary to government. Chief Akande knows how to hold state secrets. He said, you're a top professor. He said, I don't want this thing to leak. Well, the story never leaked from me. Now I'm telling the whole world. But 1 year went, nothing happened to these people. 2 years went, nothing happened to these people. 3 years went, nothing happened to these people. In fact, one of them his profile was rising in the politics. As the election was coming for Buhari, I went to him. And I said, Baba, you didn't do anything you promised to do about the report I brought to you on your first day of office. Buhari told me, Prof, if you know what favor you have done this country, you should be given a national award. I said, I don't have to know. You are the president. Give me the national award, since you know what I have done. And I said, but what has happened to the people that I came to report to you? He said he summoned Emefiele. And Emefiele told him far more than he told me. And Emefiele, by the time he finished talking to Buhari, disclosed that whatever amount I was reporting to Buhari was like chicken feed. Because I was only reporting maybe billions of naira. Now they were talking of billions of dollars.
They were being siphoned using the... you said that the man was being extorted.
Yes.
So they were collecting the money directly from CBN. Is that the case? Was that the case?
I wasn't there. I didn't know how they were collecting
But based on what you said, Emefiele told you.
That's what he told me. But what you want to hear is what I'm about to say now. Is that Whatever amount those people had extorted amounted to nothing compared with what Emefiele disclosed to President Buhari as the money that had been given to the then National Security Advisor.
Who was that?
Dasuki. And that President Buhari told me that he didn't care how many times the court would rule that he would not release Dasuki, because how could he explain the money that were traced to him? I don't know how security budget is financed, but at that time, what the newspaper reported was about $72 billion. And that amount became the focus of government to retrieve, rather than the chicken feed that I had reported to the president. So, Wajabia Miller being speaker, in any case, I consider Femi Wajabia Miller a good friend, and I consider his rise in politics to have emanated from my effort. Because when we were in the House of Rep, I was the one who stepped down for him to become the head of the opposition to Obasanjo's third-term agenda. In fact,
you were very vocal at the time.
Me? Yeah, I was the most vocal, the only person in this country, in the House of Reps, who worked harder than I did in the House of Reps. Than myself was Usman Bugaje. No other person can claim priority of place over me in that struggle to stop Obasanjo.
Do you regret it?
To stop Obasanjo? I'm glad we stopped it. If the same thing happens again, I will do the same thing. And the reason I didn't accept to lead that coalition was that I was the only member of my party who was in the House. And I felt that since Lagos had so many members, it was better to choose a man from Lagos. Ordinarily, we should have chosen Wumi Bewaji, but Wumi Bewaji had different issues at that time. And I was the one in Femi Gbajabiamila's absence. And I'm glad you raised this issue, because I didn't come here to discuss it. But I was the one who, in his absence, said, look, if we must choose somebody, let the person come from Lagos. First, they are the biggest member within the Southwest. Second, we are confronting a Yoruba president. I felt that so as not to bring an ethnic coloration to the conflict, it's better to make the man who will lead it to be a Yoruba. I could not accept it, not because of fright. In fact, I suffered more than any Nigerian legislator because of third term. I did not live in my house for 2 years.
Why?
I escaped 5 assassination attempts. I will leave it at that.
I mean,
I was living, I can now disclose the name. I was living in the house of Julius Ihonbere, Colonel Adebayo, Temi Harriman, a woman, Tam Brisby, and one other person. I lived in 5 houses, and thanks to Achiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I went to him one day and I said, look, I need a bulletproof vehicle. And he told me what to do. One of the things he told me is, go and get many used cars. Different colors, different shapes, different. So if I was coming to your house, before I got to your house, I would have parked a car in your house. When I get to your gate, I will wind down, greet everybody. Everybody will know I came in green under Accord. Nobody will know that I had maybe a Mercedes-Benz or a Toyota parked in your house in a different color, and I will escape, all windows wound up, without anybody knowing I'd left your house. That's how I lived my life for those 2 years.
In that struggle against third term.
In that struggle against
what
third
were
term.
those? Because a lot of those who were in the house at the time spoke about how they were trying to convince them. Other than the fact that there was a struggle, were there any kind of monies that exchanged hands, or those issues of corruption that happened on the floor against third term or for third term?
That was where my trouble began. I remember very well that the speaker said I was to lead a delegation of the House of Reps to a delegation in China. So I said, look, Mr. Speaker, it doesn't happen that a member of opposition would lead a delegation of parliament to a different country. I don't feel competent. In any case, I wasn't the leader of my party in Congress. Bewaji was. So if they wanted to pick a member of opposition, why not Bewaji? And then he said, oh, you know, he painted good pictures of how much he appreciated me and all that. So my ego was bloated. I said, okay, I'll go. I said, I'll go on one condition. You must give me 2 other members to go with me. And you must give me some technocrats, some of the servants, some of the civil servants in National Assembly to go with me. I got to Amsterdam and I opened the newspaper and I knew that they has kept me away so as not to be present for what was supposed to be discussed at that time in the House. And forever, I'm grateful to Aminu Bello Masari, not only because he sent me away to protect my life, but secondly, because he also gave me plenty of coverage. And I cannot go into discussion. But Aminu Bello Masari protected my life.
So what was Aminu Masari, was he on the side against the third time agenda?
Well, because he was the speaker of the president, yes, he had to pretend to be with the president. But I can tell you, he was against third term.
Were you offered money?
Of course, that was part of the problem. I was the one who broke the news. In fact, I'd given the news conferences twice, and the newspaper did not take it seriously. Sadly, in this country, sometimes, if you want your story to be on the front page of newspaper, believe me, you have got to pay for it. There were times I spoke in the House or made a motion, and certain people will comment on it, and when the newspapers will flash the headline the following day, those people who knew their way with the press will be conspicuously featured. That's okay. But in any case, I then went to Oshobo, where I knew I had influence. And I told them, look, this story is going to be big. And that time, I also gave money. I said, I want you to make it big. But don't make it big for 2 days. Let me escape. So I escaped. By the time I came back, I'd broken the story of the meeting we had in Nakon Nunga, it was called this time, Nakon Nunga Hilton, now called Transcorp. And I broke the news that we met in the hall. The hall was filled to capacity to the extent that they had to move the barrier, Nasarawa all I think, Nasarawa and Ondo, or Nasarawa and Ogun, 2 of those. Then, nobody brought money to Nakon Nunga Hotel. But as we were discussing, a principal officer of the house disclosed that the presidency had made plan to give each of us, no, I said I heard that the presidency had made plan to give each of us 50 million naira. That principal officer corrected me and said it was not going to be 50 million, it would be 70 million. So, right there.
And at the time, the value compared to now, 70 million at the time in this period.
2006.
2006, yes.
So I said that, look, if that's the case.
It was big money.
It was big money. So I said, look, if that's the case, we will lose the battle. Obasanjo will win this battle. Because the only way we should act to make sure Obasanjo lost this battle was, let's get to make as much noise as possible that the press, the union, the academia, and everybody will join us in fighting Obasanjo. Well, after my press conference in Osogbo, the next thing I knew was, first my house was invaded, not by government, I believe by those who, I shouldn't say I believe what I knew, but I think I knew. My house was invaded. But beyond that, a number of houses of reps were invaded because people thought we had been given the money. I never said we were giving money. What I said was, it was disclosed that money will be given. But was money given? Oh, yes.
Money.
Oh, yes. Not only was money given, many even fought over the money given. I was the only one from Osun who did not take money. Every member of Senate from Osun, every member of House of Rep from Osun took money. And I knew the one who gave them the money. His own father was my godfather at baptism. We are from the same village. He was the one who gave the one from Osun. I know where the money was given. So when this matter happened, in fact, a good friend came to my house. I used to have some chandeliers in my house. And some of them had hanging things. And he believed that those chandeliers contained microphones that could record us. So when he brought money to me, he said, we know you didn't take money, but we know we need you. I said, my friend, are you telling me you took money? He said, yes, I did. And I said, are you not ashamed of yourself? He said, no, I'm not. I said, why not? He said, because I know it will fail. So if it will fail and they're giving money, why did I not take my own money? Honestly, in retrospect, I thank God I didn't take the money. First, if I took it, my wife would kill me. In fact, I told her, when that person went away, I told her that I just lost my chance of becoming a millionaire. Because what they brought to me was not 70 million. It was far more than that.
It was double.
I can't tell you. Just calm down.
But was heavier.
Heavier. Much heavier. And I left my house to go to a man that I admire so much, Agoda. He used to have a beautiful garden. I got to his house. I met about 5 people. I met Ghana must go back. They were about to share their own. So I left the place. So you know, we used to have cars that had plate number that asked NAS. So his gatekeeper thought I was one of the people he was expecting. That's how he let me in. So when I got in, they were embarrassed because I was not supposed to meet them sharing money. Well, I left the place. I then went to the Meji Bankole's house. He and the guy who later became a senator from Ekiti North. He was chairman of water in the House of Rep. I've forgotten his name now. Anyway, I met him another person, the man from Ijero. 3 of them. Again, I met Ghana must go back. So money was here. In any case, unless we want to pretend, a newspaper published the name and the number of the car, the plate number, when they went and collected the money from Central Bank. It's just that this country will pretend. When I wanted to catch them, all I had to do was bribe 5 people in different banks. I collected the names, I collected what money people were depositing. If all of a sudden you came to deposit this amount, and some of them were foolish. Some of them deposited the money in their
Prof, these are heavy, and it's been a long time. The issue of third-term agenda has been discussed in the public domain, and how that impacted on our democracy, and how that almost destroyed the National Assembly, because he tore the National Assembly literally. But of course, these are your views, and these are some criminal dimension of those who took money, and of course, these are your views, Prof, and they have legal implication of it. These are not views of China's television, definitely.
I don't care the view of China's television. All I owe this country All I owe myself and all I owe God is the truth. I'm a Christian.
Have you met a former president since then?
Which president?
The one you are referring to.
Obasanjo? No, I've not met him. And I'll tell you why I've not. Listen, I don't want to get... I thought we were here to discuss national matters.
Absolutely, but when you got it in, I mean, I know that, these are big issues that you have just made
He
reference
himself cannot deny it. He can say he did not...
Would you say it to his face if you met him today?
If he's here, I would say, Uncle Shegun, I and Bolaji Aduko met Stella, his wife, in Bolaji's office. And I know what I did. I know how I followed Miwa and Stella to Colin Powell's house.
To do what?
I can't tell you that. You don't say everything. Because we needed help. Nigeria needed help. Obasanjo was in prison at that time. I know how we saved Obasanjo's life. I was head of commentary on Radio Kudirat. We were the first to announce to this country that within a time frame of 4 weeks, Yaradua would die. Because we received information that he had been poisoned. And we published it on NigerNet, the first community of Nigerians on the internet. People called us names. They said we were alarmists. But within 4 weeks, Yaradua died. Zach Ajuwon, who became the head of the National Hospital here, was Obasanjo's doctor when Obasanjo was in prison. We knew what we did to get message to Zach. Zach and I worked at the Baptist Hospital of Bumosho when Zach was a houseman and I was head of lab and my wife was head of pharmacy. Let's not get into all that. But the important thing was we did our best to save those we could save. We were not able to save all.
And I was going to ask you, you were vehemently behind, and you were not ashamed of it though, behind Professor Yemi Osinbajo and his aspiration of becoming the ticket bearer of the APC.
Yes.
He couldn't get it.
No.
And you went after Bola Tinubu, and you said your mind on how you think that Osinbajo was a better candidate of the lot that ran for the race. Do you regret your decision?
I don't regret it for 1 second. Let me tell you, first, on this program, almost 2 years ago, and thank God, as if I knew you might raise it, I listened to the entire program before I came here today. On this program, I said the most superlative things about Bola Tinubu. I also said 2 things. One, that Bola Tinubu told me that he would not run. And that he also told me why he would not run. And that when he did, I got up and I hugged him. You asked me, why did he say he would not run? And I quoted Anthony Enaoro. I said, Papa Enaoro told me that some things must die inside a man and that I would never disclose the reason Bola told me he would not run. But having said that, I also said that one, having said superlative things about Bola Tinubu, anybody can go and check it. I saw it today on the internet. Having said many superlative things about him, I also said that a primary contest within a party is a sibling rivalry. And that if Fayemi won the election, the nomination, he knows he will have my support. If Tinubu won the nomination, he knows he will have my support. In fact, I went back to the US and I came back to vote for Tinubu. You were not supposed to show who you voted for. I showed mine. So that no idiot can go and say, he didn't vote for you. They may say, he didn't give us money. I didn't give any money. And the reason I didn't give money, I can defend to high heaven. No senator with my level of resources gave as much of himself and his money to his party than I did. When Oyetola was running for governor, I spent 105 million naira of my own money. Twice, I took 20 million naira in bags to party secretariat, all mint notes. Vitola was there. When the whole party converged in Oshogbo for the election for Vitola, they said they had run out of money. They didn't have money to pay, what do you call it? Yeah, for those we were expecting from Abuja. They didn't have money to pay the rent and all the rest. On that spot, I brought 47 million naira cash, all mint notes, to the place in governor's house of Oshogbo. In fact, Ambode was so impressed. Ambode called me as I said, look, Prof, you are a man. I wish I have people like you in Lagos. That day, Ambode gave me 5 million. Biola Ajimobi, God bless his memory, was there. Biola Ajimobi said, how come I don't have a senator like this in your state? I said, look, when Rauf had money, when Oshun had money, he gave so much to the party. Now he doesn't have money, everybody is complaining. In any case, I repeat, I spent more for the election of Oyetola than I ever spent on myself.
But Prof.
We were confronting a Yoruba president. I felt that so as not to bring an ethnic coloration to the conflict, it's better to make the man who will lead it to be a Yoruba. I could not accept it, not because of fright. In fact, I suffered more than any Nigerian legislator because of third term. I did not live in my house for 2 years.
Why?
I escaped 5 assassination attempts. I will leave it at that.
I mean,
I was living, I can now disclose the name. I was living in the house of Julius Ihonbere, Colonel Adebayo, Temi Harriman, a woman, Tam Brisby, and one other person. I lived in 5 houses. And thanks to Achiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I went to him one day and I said, look, I need a bulletproof vehicle. And he told me what to do. One of the things he told me is, go and get many used cars. Different colors, different shapes, different. So if I was coming to your house, before I got to your house, I would have parked a car in your house. When I get to your gate, I will wind down, greet everybody. Everybody will know I came in green under Accord. Nobody will know that I had maybe a Mercedes-Benz or a Toyota parked in your house in a different color, and I will escape, all windows wound up, without anybody knowing I'd left your house. That's how I lived my life for those 2 years.
In that struggle against third term.
In that struggle against
What
third
were
term.
those? Because a lot of those who were in the house at the time.
You have listened to this video on how this man narrated this whole story in channel television with shame. Now, a lot of you might not understand that this Nigerian political system and how deepened and corrupt it is. You watch on how he mentioned the former president Olusegun Obasanjo down to Yaradua. That is what troubles me in all of this. That Yaradua was poisoned. I had an argument with my friend that you cannot tell me that Yaradua died because he was sick. Because the sickness of Yaradua is not even half of what Buhari was passing through. But yet Buhari survived. The silent Yaradua. One reason that I will say is because of his kind gesture towards Nigeria. They knew that if this man remains the president, Nigeria will become a great country. They decided to silence him. They poisoned him. You know, it took them a whole year before they could come out to tell Nigerians that this man have died. That is my own basic concern. Talk more about Olusegun Obasanjo, how he was fighting for 10th tenure. This man right now is now playing godfatherism and I'm not partisan in politics. This man contributed to the downfall of Nigeria because he was first president to rule this country ever since democracy, since 1999. And he has everything to fix this country. But the key that was given to him, he messed up. Though we then just praise him because he was the first was not having any comparison or to compare him to any other thing. But because of the little thing that he did, a lot of us just believe, oh, he did a nice thing. Before you praise person, there should be a comparison and a contrast between another person. Because we're just comparing or contesting with himself as a president, everybody just thought he did well. And ever since then, it has been worst, 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 worst. The only person that was able and willing to show Nigeria mercy was Yaradua, and that man did not even last 1 year. He died in the first year of his tenure after beating down the fuel price, trying to fix the country, and was doing a lot of things. The next thing that happened, they silenced him within the space of 1 year, waited for a whole another year before they told Nigeria that this man have died. And it's so painful. That look, listen to what this man said. You watch the whole video, and every Nigerian should show and raise concern about this. But it is what it is. And IBB recently came out to talk about the rest part of this story, which is another confirmation of this atrocity these elders, these elites, these cabals have done to this country. Everybody is expected to clap. He wrote a book that was launched with over 50 billion. You heard that what that man said, that even the millions that Dangote, the billions, which is 8 billion, that Dangote used to launch that book, he will get it back. Unfortunately, we all know that what he's doing right now, try to beat fuel price down so that he will drive away competitor, then skyrocket the fuel price to make more money. These people really don't care about you. They don't care for the beginning, they don't care now, and they will never care later. Now, as a Nigerian, you might want to think about it. Oh, why don't we give, let's say, Showore, for me, I will tell you the basic fact. Why don't we give Showore a chance? I know Peter Obi will do more great, but I believe that Showore will do greater. Peter Obi might become president and do a lot of things, but nobody will pay for their sins, their past sins. Nobody will pay for their past iniquities and atrocity and the things they did to this Nigeria. But Peter Obi will just move on and do all his own thing. But have you ever thought that if Showore become president, and like he becomes president, and he just make Nnamdi Kanu, let's say we are just saying, EFCC Shema, let's say I'm just saying, Showore the president, Nnamdi Kanu the EFCC Shema. See, even your deal with the community shema, they will sweep all of them. That Nigeria will become an unbearable country to any elite. I'm just saying. But Nigeria will look beyond. They will look beyond. They will not vote for him because they said, "Oh, he's still young. Oh, it's not like this. It's not happen." That is the problem we are having in this country. The elite make us to understand that our voice cannot be heard. Only, only then decide. Before you become anything in this country, you need to go meet this chairman. You need to go meet Obasanjo. You need to do. These are the people that just have one vote. But I don't know why it must be that you must go and visit or meet these people before you become anything in this country. Anyway, I rest my case. I'll be waiting for you guys in the comment section. What do you guys think about all of this? And comment your thoughts. Please, guys, like my video. If you don't like it, it will not grow. If you just watch and you don't like it, will not grow. Just click like and like and like and like the video. And if you like, you can also comment. But the most important is just click like, and God bless you for your help and support with this channel. Thank you very much. Until we meet again. Peace out.